Since we're going to build a calendar type of display, we want to make sure that we first populate the month and the dates, and these will be based on the input selection that the user has chosen. So we will build formulas now to automatically calculate the next 12 months and also the dates of the month. So let's start writing our formula to calculate the months in the employee report. So I'm going to go here to this cell and I'm going to just write my first formula to say end of month start date. So from the start date, go back a month, which would go to the previous month end, and then +1. So once we go to the previous month end, then we want to add +1 to come to the current month. So before I do that, let me just see what it's going to show. I'm just going to change this to a date so we can see when we do end of month of the start date -1, it goes to December 31st. So since we are in, so for example, even if I have January 10th, it's still going to be December 31st. That's the previous month end. Now we want to add 1 to this, so it comes to the current month. So if it is January, it will display January 1st. If let's say I do February, it'll display February 1st. So that is how the formula is going to automatically calculate whatever your start date is, that month's beginning date will be displayed here. Okay, so now let's go to the second month that we want to display. And this is going to be a slightly different formula where we will use the previous cell and then say, go to the end of that month, go to the end of January, and then add +1, and this will give us February 1st. So we'll just test it again, change this to February, and now this will be February 1st and this will be March 1st. So this is how these two formulas are going to work. So I'm going to drag this on to 10 more, or actually, yeah, 10 new cells. So we will stop at 23. And so if our data start date is January 10th, it'll go January to December. And if your, let's say, May 10th, then this will go from May to April of next year. So this is going to show 12 months beginning from the starting month. And we're not going to put more restrictions. So if you want to make it even in a slightly different way, you would want it to stop populating these months, because we only have the end date as November, and the this is December, January of the next year. We don't need to show this. If you want to make that logic implementation, you would actually have to put in an if function and say, if this is greater than the this month, then don't display. So we could make that, but I'm just going to keep it simple here and say we will display the 12 months of information here, but when we go into the calculation of vacation, we will only look until the end date. So that's the approach I'm going to take here to keep it simple. And then I'm going to select all the cells and then do Control-1, and let's just change the format to display month, even though it's actually date. The first of every month is behind the scenes, but I wanted to display the month because this is going to be a monthly summary type of report for the entire year. So I just want to display the month. So if I go back and do January, it's going to display January through December. Whenever you're testing these type of date formulas, always try different windows of time. So January to December looks fine, but also test if what happens when you do December. You want to make sure that this is December, this is January 2019, and all the way through November 2019, because this would make sure that we don't have any gaps in our logic. So always test while you're building these date-based formulas. I've saved it. Now, the other thing I want to do is to show 31 days maximum. That's the maximum we have. So I just need to select 31. So let's say I got 31 columns, and what we're going to do is this goes all the way. Okay, so let's just build it out this way. 1, 2, So I'm going to select them and drag them along, and I will stop when I hit 31. Okay, there you go. And now I know the 31 columns. I'm just going to select these columns and narrow down the width of the column to 2.9. If you remember, that's what we kind of ended up using in the team dashboards. I'm just going to do something similar. And now we have these cells, which is going to be our calendar area, where we will start building our formula in the next video.